to our second annual Refine Fashion Show. My name is Linda Lichtendahl. I'm the chair with Judy Leonard of the second annual fashion show. And I want to let you know that Judy Leonard arranged for the show to be supported by Bruin Waste Management. So let's give a hand to her. Arts and Events Center is so proud to present this show to all of you today. And I want you to know that this is a multi-generational show. They're modeled from age 70 to 70. There are mothers and daughters and grandmothers and granddaughters. So it's a real show that represents all of Delta County. Some of our models are from Hotchkiss, Delta, Paonia. So we're really excited to have everybody participate. We hope you enjoyed all those vintage photos up there, and they were all provided by members of GMAEC. They were sharing bits of their past with you. And you might have been challenged to identify some of those people. And at intermission, we could tell you who some of those people are. And I see some of them out in the audience. We're going to show it at intermission. Yeah. Okay, so let's get going. We have three sections to our show. The first section is called Rewinding, and we're going to be modeling vintage outfits. The second category is Recreating, and that's where a lot of the middle school students and some adults took existing clothing and recreated it into a new look. And the last portion is really exciting and something new. We're calling it Trashing. It's taking things that you're probably recycling every day and transforming it into fashion. So it's trashing. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce Keaton Sanders. Keaton is a senior at Cedar Edge High School. He's going to be announcing today. And I can't forget our usher, Dale Russell Smith. You might not recognize him because he's in his 60s outfit.
Thank you, Linda. As she said, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Refine Fashion Show. I'll be your MC for today, tonight, this evening, wherever we are. Let's begin with our first section, the Rewind section. Vintage clothing has proved itself to be an alternative to trendy fashion. And according to a study from the online consignment and thrift store ThredUp, the global secondhand market is currently booming. Between the years of 2021 and 2022, the market increased by a total of 28%, and these numbers are expected to double by 2027. The quality, production, and stylish designs of vintage pieces contribute heavily to this demand, so let's slow it down as we look back in time to rewind to the past century. First up, we have our model, Miss Lisa Castle, with a collection from Miss Judy Leonard. Miss Castle is wearing a 1920s style ensemble with a small cape. Fun fact, this cape is 100 years old. Miss Judy Leonard's granddaughter, wearing a nomadic Romani-inspired ensemble. Now up, we have Miss Rachel Leonard dressed up for a night on the town with her beautiful fox stole. Next, we have Miss Amara Fancher in a 20s style sheath with a fringe on the bottom.
And now the purple dusk of twilight stealing across the meadows of my heart.
Now up, we have Mr. Dan Jaramillo in his 20s style trench coat and Miss Melanie Hoshiko in her original silk blouse. Now up, we have Miss Cheryl Butler in a beautiful lace dress with embroidered Japanese duster. Up next, we have a CMS 7th grader, Miss Jida Ware, looking beautiful in her long floral dress. Now up, we have Dean and Elizabeth Bonzani. Dean is heading off to work in his factory as Elizabeth joins him as Rosie the Riveter. Fun fact. Over the course of World War II, more than 6 million women took wartime jobs in factories. 3 million volunteered with the Red Cross, and over 200,000 served directly in the military. We have Miss Gina Rose wearing her very own smart 40 satin suit. Cedar Edge Middle School, we have Miss Lennon Davidson wearing a sheer dress with leaves on it from the collection of Gina Rose. We have Miss Giddy Stoller wearing a headed to the sock hop style poodle skirt from her very own collection. several girls on their way to school. Miss Haven Van Houten, Miss Peta Petit, and Miss Peta Petit, sent off by their mothers, Miss Cara Mans and Rachel Leonard. Now up, we have Miss Lisa Cassell in her navy blue dress with leaf prints. Now up, we have Miss Laura Vivian from Bruin Waste Management in her Hawaiian dress and a beautiful waterfall skirt.
Work all night, gonna drink the rum. Stop banana, the money come. Oh, Mr. Tallyman, tally me banana. Oh, Mr. Tallyman, tally me banana.
Now up, we have Miss Miracle Jenkins, a CMS 8th grader, and her sister, Miss Harmony Jenkins, a CHS sophomore, wearing their beautiful bubblegum pink 50s style wear from the collection of Judy Leonard. Now up is Miss Melanie Hashiko in her beautiful diner-style green rayon dress.
Well, if you ever find the motor west, Jack, take my way, it's the highway. Get your cake
Now up in timeless biker apparel, we have Mr. Connor Fulton Smith and Miss Kayla Klein. In full patriotic attire, we have Mr. Rodney Grantham and Miss Gina Rose. Rodney is wearing his very own Air Force uniform from the 70s, and Gina is wearing a beautiful red, white, and blue dress.
Be
Young, an 8th grader wearing a baby blue formal dress. Now up we have Miss Cheryl Butler in her hand-painted vest and bell-bottoms.
Waiting for a train on a speeding near as faded as my jeans.
Up next, we've got a full bridal party from Cedar Edge Middle School. Up first is Miss Zoe Menzel in her beautiful 60s bridal gown. Following behind her is with Miss Gwyneth Polson in her beautiful long-sleeve blue maid of honor gown. And finally, Miss Kinley Wood as the flower girl. In 60s mod bell-bottoms and a furry vest coat, respectively. Wearing a graphic tee belonging to Judy Leonard. Now up in a very classy and very collectible dreamy, that's gonna be hard to pronounce, Gune sax, we have Miss Amara Fancher.
Sunshine on my shoulders makes me happy.
Ready to disco dance, we have Mr. Taylor Thomas and Miss Juliana Wallace from Cedar Edge Middle School. With Mr. Damian Taylor. Displaying various looks from the 80s. Just a reminder that girls just want to have fun. Up first, we have Miss Zoe Penderson on her phone, calling up the gals, followed by Miss Candy Wood, Miss Zoe Manzel, Miss Gwen Polson, and Miss Jaya Ware. Miss Maddie Long, bringing back the 90s vibes. Now up in a 90s formal dress from her very own collection, we have Miss Amara Bancher. Davidson in a beautiful striped dress. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the first part of the show. We will now have a brief 10-minute intermission. Had a good intermission. We are now in the present day 2024-ish fashion area. Fun fact, the average American consumer throws away roughly 81.5 pounds of clothing every single year. In the U.S. alone, that's an estimated 11.3 million tons of textile waste, equivalent to 85% of the textile waste across the world on a yearly basis. By 2050, it's estimated that the apparel industry will account for 26% of total carbon emissions globally. Recreating existing recreating using existing clothing is a creative and fun way that will result in new pieces and new fashions that will both help us, modernize without modernizing, and will heavily reduce carbon emissions in the future. There's no such thing as wasteful textiles when you can recreate it. To start us off, we have Miss Nan Rodriguez and Mr. Rodney Graham. They are wearing some beautiful clothing. Miss Rodriguez's dress is designed by Cindy Starr. Miss Starr took a pre-owned wedding dress and covered it with silk flowers to create this beautiful look for model Miss Nan Rodriguez. Nan has a history on the runway being a model in California. This garment originally belonged to the model's mother, but she lovingly remade it by herself as it appears today. Please give a round of applause to Miss Gina Rose. With trimmed vintage dollies, we have Miss Melanie. In original remake, Zoe took a dress and transformed it into this beautiful bell-bottom and tank top combo. Shout out to her mom, Carrie Connor, for helping with the sewing, and to Zoe herself for not giving up. This was her second attempt at remaking something, and we think she did an amazing job. A series of original outfits made by students from existing clothing during art class. Their goal was to experiment with different clothing making processes. Now up we have Miss Kinley Wood in a bleached hoodie, Miss Miracle Jenkins wearing her handmade shorts, Miss Jada Ware in a bleached shirt, and Zoe Menzel in an oversized shirt, and Miss Leanne Davidson. Miss Neela Mendez in her revamped t-shirt, and Juliana W. in her revamped t-shirt. Now we move on to a new category, the Reimagine category. This category asks us to reimagine the materials that we consider wearable. We're taking consumable and disposable trash items and reimagining them into fashion ensembles is really a work of art. Presented here is a collection of trash to fashion pieces we like to call trashing. First up, we have Miss Rachel Leonard in a, created by Miss Judy Leonard, along with Miss Shelley Shavers. These ladies led a group of creatives in the art garage to create something of the trashin' looks showcased today, including this chicken feed sack skirt. Now up, wearing a dog blanket poncho and a dog tree poncho created by Judy Leonard, we have Miss Haven Bound Hooten and Miss Pepita Petit. Extra, get some of your newspapers reimagined into a wonderful vest and skirt. Thank you to Bruin Waste for sponsoring this. We have our two models, Damian Taylor and Amanda Schaefer, both employees of Bruin Waste Management.
Really want to see something trashy. It's all clothes and the laces are torn. A gift from my mother the day I was born. I love it because it's trash. Anything ragged or rotten or rusty.
Of both designer and model, we have Miss Laura Vivian in a beautiful pink trash bag with floral duct tape. Modeling a dress created by a Telluride woman who's been struggling with Lyme disease for months. She's decided to make a dress out of all of the IVs that she's used.
Oh my God.
discarded pinwheels from Cedar Edge School's Spirit Week to create this wonderful original look, we have Miss A Miracle Jenkins. Now up, modeling original designs from high schooler Logan Locke, we have Miss Jada Ware, Miss Zoe Menzel, and Miss Kinley Wood, all Cedar Edge Middle School students, wearing dresses they created for the show. Up next, trash bags like you've never seen them before. Modeled by Miss Ginny Stoller with a beautiful necklace made of bottle caps. Made of rug, model Neela Mendez is incredibly creative and talented. She also makes her own tote bags. Artists and Cedar Edge Middle School art teacher Miss Kara Mans regularly create wearable pieces from electrical wire. These pieces were created specially for this show. The copper has been reclaimed from electrical wire waste, and this wire was bound for recycling before it was stripped of its plastic casing and recreated into these statement pieces, inspired by African face and body jewelry. Give a big round of applause to Cedar Edge Middle School students Juliana Wallace and Taylor Thomas. Created by Miss Jada Next up, created by Miss Jada Ware with the help of her mother at home. This dress is referred to as the Beauty and the Chaos dress. Give it a round of applause for Miss Jada Ware. My mistake. They're still changing. Now, mild technical difficulties here. Sorry about that. Up next, in wonderful dresses made from the girls' tennis nets, these models' trashing purse was made by art teacher Kara Mans from items she found on the CMS playground. Please give a round of applause to Miss Jada Ware and Landon Davidson, both CMS 7th graders. Designer Cindy Starr found inspiration in his next outfit from the internet to repurpose her junk mail. The chain the model is wearing was created by CMS art teacher Kara Manns from the end of Biscuit Tins. Please give a round of applause to Mrs. Zoe Menzel. Up next, we've got a mail-order bride with a gown of bubble wrap. Please give a round of applause to Miss Lisa Castle. Please give a very warm welcome to our sound person and the designer of many of these outfits, Miss Kara Manns.
I just wanted to thank everybody for coming, and I wanted you to check out my earrings. Yes. These were made by an 8th grader, Ben Weidner, out of scissors, and I promised him that I would wear them in the fashion show. I can only handle them for about 3 minutes though, so check them out when I can. I'm really proud of my students, and after I talk, we're gonna have one more model because they're like rapidly changing back there, and a lot of them made these things at home. So we're gonna have one more model after I talk, but while I'm up here, I did want to thank my students for their playful willingness to try new things and experiment with materials. I'd like to acknowledge my use of there's a Paonia Free Space, and it's like a community supported project where people put their discarded items. We reused over 50 t-shirts from that free space. So I wanna acknowledge that as a fiber shift. When we have free materials, it makes the stakes low to just try things. So, and it wasn't just these students, it was 6th, 7th, and 8th grade classes also. So I also want to thank Judy Leonard. She's our source for the vintage fashions that she was brave enough to share with my teenage students, who we played dress up in them during recess and came up with these looks today. And the Art Center for always cheering us on. I feel like I have true partnership with them, and all of the volunteers that work from their hearts, like Linda here today. She's so patient with me and working with teenagers also, and putting together the production piece of things.
Miss Jada Leonard.
And Miss Leonard, yes. This is the woman that I can text and say, I need a 1950s dress that would fit a modern size 8, and she's like, oh, I have 5. So she's really helped us out, and Linda did all the coordinating for the show today too. So providing platforms for creativity that connects us to the greater community is so valuable. So I want to thank you all for your support and being part of that also. And before we continue with our thanks, would it be appropriate to have one more model? Okay, she's ready, so I'm gonna play some music for her.
Music.
Wearing a beautiful trash bag dress, we have Miss Jada Ware.
being such a great audience. We hope you enjoyed our show. It's not quite as professional as some fashion shows, but we hope you had fun.
It's better.
So again, I want to thank Kara and Judy, our co-chair, and I'd also like to recognize our committee. So if you can come to the stage, let's see, who do we have? Mara Fancher, Amara, Melissa Giberson. They're all back there. Melanie Hashiko, Karen Locke. I think Karen's out in the audience. Nancy Snowden has been working backstage all afternoon. Judy Fairchild, who's also the chair of our signature events committee. Judy. And Cindy Starr, the president of our board of directors. And Jo Carol Maxwell, our executive director. She couldn't be here this afternoon, but she worked hard on this show too. I also want to thank all the backstage people because we couldn't do this show without them. Joanne Thronberg, who is directing the models on the stage. Taylor Thomas, where are you, Taylor? Taylor handed out our program, and Bella Wells helped backstage. You guys can come up if you're back there. Do without our setup and our takedown volunteers. You don't see them, but they've been working hard behind the scenes, and they'll be working to take this all down. And we want to recognize our bartenders. I don't know who's back there today, but they did a great job. Sharon Grotran. And Linda Murray. Thank you. What would we do without our cool hippie, Dale Russell Smith, as our usher? And lastly, we want to thank David Starr and John Anderson up above doing the lighting, the sound, and thank you. Okay, we're going to do one final walk. So be ready to give a great big applause to all the models who are going to do a grand promenade. And thank you again for supporting the Grand Mesa Arts and Events Center.